Hello everyone, and welcome to Spring Into Reading. This is our first episode where we're going to give you a little library update and then give you a couple of books to add to your TBR piles. I don't know about you guys, when I think about spring, I always think about migratory birds. And lucky for us, one of our favorite presenters, David T. Chapman, has prepared a little video for us about some of the birds of Ontario. You'll be able to access this video starting the morning of Monday, April 5th on our YouTube channel. And he's been so kind to let us leave it up a couple of weeks. You can watch it at your convenience. Rose, Easter's coming. What do you have for us to read this week?
Well, Jade, let me tell you, I've become a bit of a YouTube aficionado, especially as it comes to gardening. And this is one of the fellows that I follow on gardening. And lo and behold, he's written a book, Grow Food for Free, Hugh Richards, and we have it in our library. It's a very comprehensive, easy to follow book, and his philosophy is also very sound. I like it. It's a good beginners, but a way to also solidify for those of us who've been gardening for a little while. But the book I really wanted to talk about is Donna Leon, and not so much the book, but Donna Leon as an author. She is an excellent crime fiction writer in terms of language and then the nuances of culture and everything about Venice. So she does write, her protagonist, her main character is Commissario Guido Brunetti, and there is always a crime to be solved and so on. But what I think is really fascinating about her books and are the vignettes of culture, how they make their coffee, all the niceties of that, and other aspects of that get you quite familiar with the culture, as I say, of Venice and the distinction between northern and southern Italian people and all those sort of old-time traditional ideas. But they have been called to the bedside of a dying woman who maintains that her husband, who died just a few weeks earlier, was killed by someone, and they're of course trying to figure out what it is. They lead you through many of the dark canals and alleyways of Venice in the book. It's not a fast read, but it's a good read.
That's always great when an author you enjoy delivers, so that Donna Leon is one you guys should probably put on your TBR piles. I have one I think is worthy of your TBR piles as well, and that is Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson. Now, some of you might recognize this author from 8 Perfect Murders, which has been flying off of our shelves, but this is his latest and actually a book club pick for a book club I'm a part of in April. As you can tell, it is still March and I'm already finished, so I bet you can tell how much I like it. It was pretty good. Abigail is kind of your average woman, and she ends up meeting a tech billionaire named Bruce. Now, Bruce doesn't really do any coding or anything like that anymore. He's what you call an angel investor. So he invests his money in a lot of startup companies, not all of which are based in tech. Bruce says to Abigail, I want to marry you. You can have the most lavish wedding you want, or we can get married at town hall. I don't care, but I get to plan the honeymoon. He also becomes very involved in planning her bachelorette weekend with her friends. So Abigail's a little annoyed at this, but I mean, how can she really turn down this great weekend with her friends at this fancy vineyard? The only problem is, while on this bachelorette weekend, she ends up hooking up with one of the guys there. Now, she doesn't want to ruin her impending marriage, so she just decides to stay silent about it, forget it ever happens. But then she sees this guy in New York. And then she sees him outside her wedding. And then she sees him at this really exclusive, very expensive off-grid resort they're honeymooning at. Something's wrong here, and it's about to turn fatal. You'll have to read For Whom. So once again, that is Every Vow You Break by Peter Swanson.
We want to thank you guys for participating in another one of our virtual programs. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel.